All right. Shalom Yasharala. Before we get started, we're going to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakaha Kodash, and double honors to the apostles, bishops, and the elders of Great Millstone, the teaching of well. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect. And we're back with another video, another lesson. The title, this one's going to be called Prophecy Watch. Okay, with a subtitle of the end of the world. All right. And when you go into that word world in the Greek, well, it has, many different definitions, but one of the definitions for world is aeon, which means world or age, and it's the end of this world, this age, which is Esau's age, Esau's world. Okay. But before we get into that, I got a couple articles. Well, I'll probably just read like two. There's a lot going on, a lot of stuff that's happening around the world. Okay. But let's first start with this from End Time Headlines. All right. The title is Experts Are Warning That There Will Be Significant Shortages in the United States by the end of next month. All right. And we're in April. It's April 30th today. So next month is May. So hey, we you got videos out there of people already saying, that the ports are, over on the West Coast, the California ports are empty, So you got shelves that are gonna be empty. You're not gonna be able to get a lot of things, not just food, but think about your things, everyday needs, paper towels, toilet paper, things for your children, baby formula. All right. I'm gonna read it. It says it will be difficult to overstate the seriousness of the crisis that we are facing. Just about every single industry in the United States is extremely dependent on imports from China. It says, and now trade with China is essentially coming to a standstill. Right? So like it's a bee in my room. It says, I wish that I was exaggerating, but I am not. According to the World Trade Organization, trade between the United States and China could decline by as much as 80%. It says the World Trade Organization has warned that goods traded between the United States and China could decrease by as much as 80%, backing U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent's description of the current situation as essentially a trade embargo, tourism packages. Unless something changes, this is going to be the biggest shock to our economy in decades. It reads, at the moment, at 11:44, call Allah Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. It says, at the moment, our stores are filled with products that are manufactured in factories in China. You got a lot of things. We get a lot of stuff that comes from China, And if you look on the back of, probably your toaster or your microwave, it'll say made in China, It says, but now many of those factories have become eerily quiet. And quote, I know several factories that have their employees to go home for a few weeks and stop most of their production, said Cameron Johnson, a Shanghai-based senior partner at consulting from Tidal Wave Solutions. He said factories making toys, sporting goods, and low-cost dollar store-type goods are now most affected right now. While not large-scale yet, it is happening in the key export hubs of Yiwu and Dongguan. Hope I said that right. And there is concern that it will grow, Johnson said. Yeah. Excuse me. It says there is a hope that tariffs will be lowered so orders can resume. But in the meantime, companies are furloughing employees and idling some production. We are also witnessing an unprecedented decline in cargo ships from China to the United States. Right. It says, ooh. All right, I'm sorry. I'm gonna start back up here. Right here it says, I'm gonna start right here again. It says Port of Los Angeles Executive Director Jen Sirocco, or Soraka, is telling us that essentially all shipments out of China for major retailers and manufacturers have ceased. All right. It says President Donald Trump's trade war policies are expected to bring about 35% decline in cargo arriving at the port of Los Angeles by next week, as essentially all shipments, essentially all shipments out of China for major retailers and manufacturers have ceased, according to Port of Los Angeles Executive Director Gene Soroka. The good news is that major retailers still had Chinese-made goods that they previously purchased to sell to us. But as they work through their existing inventory levels, pretty soon we are going to start seeing empty shelves. All right? We're going to start seeing empty shelves soon. And that could bring what? Famines. All right? You can't get things for your house or whatever you planning on doing. All right? Let's get you can read the rest of this on your own. Well, it's not that much left. But I'll put the link in the description, But let's go up here and read this from the people's voice. All right, blackouts in Europe. It says massive power outages cause chaos in Spain and Portugal. Right? It says millions, and this was a couple of days ago, 2 days ago. So I'm pretty sure the power's back on now, as I've seen, videos. But still can read it. It says millions have been left without electricity as widespread power outages hit Spain and Portugal and parts of France on Monday. There are also reported issues in the Netherlands and Belgium. The outages have shut off traffic lights and are causing chaos at airports and train stations. Reports indicate issues with the European electric grid. Other reports suggest this was a cyber attack. All right, and we know that these elites they plan to do something to the economy, right? And then this was in Europe. Something is going to come to America eventually, a black swan event or a false flag where the grid is going to go down or something may happen. It says in Portugal, official sources told domestic media that the outage, which hit around late morning local time, was nationwide, while similar reports have emerged from Spain. Madrid's Barajas International Airport and Lisbon's Humberto Delgado were closed after being left without power. And telecommunications have also been affected, with residents across the two countries saying they have no access to mobile networks. Meanwhile, other airports have come to a standstill throughout the region. Numerous passengers have been left stranded in the metro systems of the Spanish and Portuguese capitals, with trains stuck in tunnels between stations, Euronews Portugal reports. The blackout has affected hospitals too, including Madrid's La Paz and multiple medical facilities in Portugal, with some being forced to cancel surgeries. The Spanish government has gathered for an emergency session to Moncloa and is monitoring the situation as it develops, according to our colleagues at Euronews Spain. Now, reports came out. They're saying that this was like a asthma. Matter of fact, let me see if I can find it. I know it's on. Let me see. And as you see, Pakistan and India, may go to war. Okay, so like I said, it's a lot happening, man. All right, but I'm trying to see. Port of Los Angeles warns shipping volume will plummet 35% next week. Okay, you got this. First patient with ALS to receive Neuralink brain transplant has demonstrated ability to communicate with mind. A lot going on. Privacy is moving. We at the end of the world. But I'm trying to find that. Let me see. Yep. Right here. Officials claim Europe power outage caused by a rare atmospheric phenomenon. That's what they say. But we know. Let's get. I know it's 2 Corinthians. Second Corinthians, is it 2 or? Yeah. This is 2 Corinthians 2 and 11. And it reads, lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. All right. And we know Satan in the Greek is Satanas, which means adversary. All right. But also it means a Satan-like man. And who's that Satan-like man? Esau Edom, the so-called white man that rules the whole world. All right. We are not ignorant of his devices. We're not ignorant of what he has. What he has. Okay. And this man, he can, with the power that he has, he can shut off the grid. He can, stop, sea shipments. Or he can stop things from coming in and going out. He has that kind of power. All right. So we're not ignorant of his devices. Okay. Now, you can read the rest of this if you like. All right. But I'm pretty sure, all brothers and sisters, they know about this. Okay. I'm just, getting to it. But let's get Matthew 24. Okay. And I'm going to start at verse 3, and it reads, and as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples who became apostles came unto him privately, saying, tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming and the end of the world? So the disciples were asking Yahushua, what are the signs of your return? All right, what should we look out for? Right? And he gives a list. But like I told you in the beginning, let's get this word world in the Greek. All right. And that word world is aeon. All right, aeon or ion. And it says forever, an unbroken age, perpetuity of time, eternity, the world's universe. Down here, period of time, age. All right, and this is the end of this age, the end of Esau's world. All right, this because we're in the first Earth age right now. And the second Earth age is going to come under the Israelites, starting with Yahushua, and then King David, the 12, the 144,000. All right, that will be the second Earth age. Okay, but we're still in the first Earth age as we speak. All right, so verse 4, and Yahushua answered and said unto them, take heed that no man deceive you by any means. Salaki. Yeah, it says, take heed that no man deceive you, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am the anointed, the Messiah, and shall deceive many. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. All right, we seeing these rumors of wars, all right, popping up like we just saw. India and Pakistan, talking about going to war. Right? It says, for nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. All these are the beginning of sorrows, and we're in the beginning stages of Esau's kingdom falling. Right? Let's go back real quick. Where we at with it? You got this, say goodbye to the dollar in these 11 countries in 2025. People are dropping the dollar now. All right, they're no longer trading in the US dollar. Right? Yeah, over here. Yep, right here. Experts are warning America to prepare now as H5N1 spreads to all 50 states. Okay, so famines, pestilences. All right, we're in the end of the world right now. Apostle Hardy, the video. All right, I forgot how it was worded. It was a back to the basics. Matter of fact, we can just go to it. Pull it up real quick. This is his channel. What is the 666 Mark II GMS Truth? All right, yeah, back to the basics. How close are we to the end? All right, and we're very close. Very, 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 very close to the end. All right. Now, some brothers may speculate we may be here for another, not no 30 or 1,000. No. We speculate maybe another year or two, maybe if even that. you know, but we really don't know. Only the Most High knows, okay? But we can see it. How can we know? Well, let's get Second Esdras. Let's get Second Esdras 9 and 1. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself. And when thou seest part of the signs past, which I've told thee before, then shalt thou understand that is the very same time wherein the highest, okay, will begin to visit the world which he made. All right? And we seeing that play out right now. Well, yeah, the Lord is visiting the world which he made, man, by bringing these plagues upon the people, plagues upon the world, right? Let's go back a few to get this. Second Esdras 6 and verse 9. I'll start at 7. Then answered I and said, what shall be the parting asunder of the times? Or when shall be the end of the first and the beginning of it that followeth? And he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born unto him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau. For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. So I just want to prove to you, you know, we're still in Esau's world right now, Esau's age. Okay, but Esau's the end of the world. That's how we know that Esau's in rulership. Okay, that he's the so-called white man, Esau, Edom. Okay, the Edomites, they're in rulership right now. All right, let's get no, I'm sorry. Let's go over here. I want to get Ezekiel. I'm trying to see 7 and 5. It says, thus saith the Lord, our Yahweh, and evil, and only evil, behold, is come. And end is come, the end is come. It watcheth for thee, behold, it is come. So the end is coming, man. All right, the end of this world is on its way. And we see it by how the prophecies are playing out. You know, persecution is getting ready to play out on a large scale against the men of the Lord. Lord willing, we be, you know, of that hopeful elect. All right, to make it out. You know. It was another one I had just to show you. I guess we get this one, the people's voice. Bill Gates demands digital ID systems and behaviors to tackle misinformation. So, you know, they're coming with that those draconian measures, draconian laws. You can read this on your own. I'll put the link in the description. But it's clear that we're at the end of the world, man. Okay, the end of the world. We're at the end of this time, the end of this age. All right. I'm gonna get a few more. This is Revelation 2 and 10. Right, speaking on that persecution, says, fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Right, which meaning what? You're gonna go through the sufferings, because Yahushua had to go through it. So we're followers of Yahushua, right? If he went through it, we gonna have to go through it. Same way back in the ancient time, back in ancient Rome, the Yahushua, he was persecuted. The apostles got persecuted, even by their own people. Okay, by those wicked Jews, those wicked scribes and Pharisees. Right? Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil. Who's the devil? All right, Esau, Edom is the devil. Shall cast some of you into prison. Now we know that the spiritual demon Satan, he can't put you in a prison. But there's going to be a physical devil. Shall cast some of you into prison, that ye may be tried, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Be thou faithful unto death, and I'll give thee a crown of life. Let me show you a video real quick. Right?
American citizens. Deporting American citizens to Central American prisons. Is it legal, or do you need to change the law to do it?
Well, it's another question that the president has raised. It's a legal question that the president is looking into. And he talked about this yesterday when with his meeting with President Bukele in the Oval Office. He would only consider this, if legal, for Americans who are the most violent, egregious, repeat offenders of crime, who nobody in this room wants living in their communities.
So as you heard, now they're talking about deporting U.S. citizens to another country, to Central America, to put them in prison. You know, brothers and sisters may be a part of that. All right, so we're at the end of the world, man. All right, so I'll put the link in the description to these, to these articles if you want them. But it's clear that, we're in the end of we're at the end of the world, man, and a lot of things is going on, and it's gonna get, it's gonna get worse from here on out, So, Lord willing, this was edifying. Hopefully, Lord willing, it was edifying to you brothers and you sisters out there, okay, that's watching and listening. We don't give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rachak Wadash, and double honors to the apostles, the bishops, and elders of Great Millstone, the teacher and rule well. Peace and citation to those 4 elect. Lord's will use edified. To the next video, I'm going to say,